My name is Fien de Meijeren and my role is an equine nutritionist. So I give feeding advices to our clients and I also give some education to people who want to know more about horse feeding and digestion and stuff like that. I actually was doing agricultural studies and I did my internship in Cavalor, working on the ration calculator we have, and that's how, I actually never left the company anymore, so I work there since 10 years now. I completely don't come from a horsey family, but I've been fascinated with horses since I was a little kid and it never went away. Me and my husband have jumping horses at home and then some ponies which I use for teaching children how to ride. I love being around the horses and also getting feedback from the clients when we give feeding advices and horses are doing better after that. I really love to help and to see them become better, and that's what I love the most. The injuries we get most questions about are mostly tendon injuries because they occur quite a lot and also it takes quite some time for a horse to heal from a tendon injury, so that worries quite a lot of people. Actually, the process of the tendon being inflamed doesn't take that long, so that's maybe 10 to 30 days, but it's the period after that, the time it takes for the tendon to heal, that takes quite some time. That can take a couple of months, maybe a year. It really depends on the severeness of the injury, how long the horse is off the track, but it is really important in the phase where the tendon needs to heal again that the movement is quite controlled, so it's better to wait a little bit longer than to start over too soon, because you have to keep in mind that the collagen of a tendon is quite flexible, but once the tendon has been injured and you have scar tissue coming there, that's never that flexible as the collagen was before. So we really have to get them back into training quite slowly to make sure that there is no new injury coming up there. Tendon injuries can occur by an overload on the tendon, by an overextension, by an inflammation reaction. So with hard work, a lot of pressure on the tendon, an injury is always possible that an injury occurs. Tendons are of course under a lot of pressure, so it's quite common for them to be injured. You have to keep in mind that the tendon, like I said, the bloodstream through it is not that big, and also every tendon is connected to a muscle that really pulls that tendon, so if the horses gallop, there's quite some pressure on those tendons. Preventing and treating tendon injuries is of course a combination of a lot of different things like management and training and so on, but also feeding can play a big role. So if we supply the right feeding, the right nutrients for the tendon, that can of course help. And also if we supply anti-inflammatory in the ration, that can also prevent inflammation reactions. The lymphatic system is actually a bit unknown still in the horse world, but it plays a very important role in the recuperation system of the body and the circulation system. So it actually is very important to get all the waste out of the body. So when horses really perform and work hard, there's a lot of waste produced in the body that should leave the body, and there the lymphatic system plays a major role. Having a healthy lymphatic system, first of all, is move a lot, because movement and the muscle movement really keeps the system going. But we also have a product called Peak Performance, and that product will actually support the lymphatic system and make sure that the waste is getting out of the body more efficient, and also that helps in the recuperation of horses after a heavy effort. Electrolytes are very important in horses because if you look at the concentration of electrolytes in the sweat of a horse, it is really high. So they lose a lot of electrolytes when they are sweating, and they cannot really store electrolytes in the body. So that means after sweating, we should really refuel these electrolytes in horses. So after sweating, they always need a lot of water, of course, but also electrolytes to make sure that they do not get any muscle cramps or whatsoever. The top 4 products of Cavalor that race trainers should use are Cavalor Freebute, Cavalor Lactatec, Cavalor Gastro 8 and Cavalor Bronchix Pulmo, I suppose. Freebute is a product that works anti-inflammatory and pain relieving, but in a natural way. So it's really a natural herbal product that will prevent inflammation and also make the horse feel better and more loose in the body without being harmful on the stomach. So Lactatec is actually a product that will protect your muscle cells and also make the muscles more supple. So what we actually do is using a combination of different antioxidants that protect muscle cells, which is very important because a lot of brands only use, for example, vitamin E, but we use a combination of antioxidants, so vitamin E, vitamin C, and other antioxidants that protect your muscle cells in different ways, which makes it more efficient. We also use buffers to prevent acidification in the body, and we use essential oils to increase the oxygen flow towards the muscles and to make the muscles more supple. So we actually really make sure that we have the whole muscle system covered and that we protect the horses against any kind of stiffness and pain. Gastro8 is actually a product that protects the stomach wall against ulcers or irritations. So you have to know that horses actually produce gastric acid 24/7, so that's different than in humans, and that gastric acid can really harm the stomach wall. So it's really important actually to protect that stomach. We can do that by, first of all, feeding enough of roughage. So when the stomach is full with roughage, that will create some kind of a fiber mat that absorbs these fluids that are produced in the stomach, and that prevents them from harming that stomach wall. But we can also use buffering supplements like Gastro8 to protect the stomach wall and to neutralize the acid a little bit to make sure that it is not that harmful for the stomach wall of the horse. So Bronchix Pulmo is actually a product that protects the horses against lung bleedings. So when a horse is galloping very fast, the heart is pushing a lot of blood towards the lungs, and that can sometimes put so much tension on the lung bladders that that you have a rupture there and that you get blood in the lungs. And by using Bronchix Pulmo, you actually increase the elasticity of the lung bladders, and you also support the whole airway system, and that way you have less lung bleeding and more oxygen getting to your muscle cells, for example. All our products are actually safe to race on, so we really think it's important that it's really clear for the riders and trainers to know that all products can be used during the race. So we also test them on that. We work together with LCH to do these tests and to make sure that all our formulas are completely safe to use.